Hey guys, we're gonna talk some barbecue, but let's get some people on here.
I'm gonna watch you.
You're gonna watch me?
So
We're on?
talk of barbecue.
Talk about barbecue?
Okay, come here.
Careful.
Talk about barbecue.
Oh.
Barbecue.
Barbecue?
Remember barbecue.
Well, we will see who comes on here, and we are going to do a little discussion, talk a little bit about competition barbecue, um, any questions you might have, and about barbecue, about cooking, really anything. So Brian and Bradley asked me to come on, do a little talking. See, Bradley's on. Bradley, do you want to come on camera as well? Either Brad or Brian. Well, Brad, you want to type something just to make sure you can hear me? Again, I'm going to give people a few minutes to come on. I'm just sitting out here on a Sunday afternoon enjoying the day. Hope you guys are as well. So you might hear some lawnmowers, you might hear some frogs, you might hear my daughter.
Daddy.
Hey Carl, how's it going?
I'm here to be the nurse. I'm here to be the nurse. I'm gonna be the nurse. I'm gonna be the nurse.
All right, if we don't get anybody on here, I'm gonna just bounce. But
Size?
hoping to talk some barbecue with some people. Can you hear? Okay,
Size?
that's fine.
Let's take this in the kitchen in case one of us
Anybody want to type a comment? I just want to make sure you guys can hear me. Hey Carl, how's it going? Jason, how's it going? Well, all right. All right, now I start seeing some comments. Hey Bradley, how's it going? Carl, thank you for confirming you can hear this. Mike, how's it going? So again, just really going through some questions, a little Q&A, just kind of talk a little bit about who we are, and really just kind of want to throw things out there, but would love to see a few more people on. I'm talking to a huge audience right now. We got 4 people here on Addicted to the Q for a light. No, 3. We're down to 3. So yeah, let's. If you are you seeing this through Addicted to the Q, or did you see this through my site? So I was asked to come on, talk a little bit about Man Meat BBQ, talk a little bit about barbecue just in general, how we got started. And Bradley or Brian, if you're on, please say something or type in the comments. But if you're not, then I guess we'll move on. All right, guys, I'll just get started, talk a little bit, and introduce myself. I am Aaron Stoffer. I'm the head pit master of Man Meat BBQ. We are located in Stillwell, Kansas, and I am in my backyard. Gotta love the beautiful green grass, the trees. you know, this is the time that we all should be out barbecuing, and maybe that's what you all are doing right now. But I am just sitting on the patio and enjoying a nice cold drink. We finished a contest yesterday in Topeka, Kansas. Had a real nice consistent cook and finished 9th overall out of 77 teams. So pretty good day, and happy with our food. But really, we got started back in really started cooking when Barbecue Pitmasters came on, and you know, really it was 2012 was when we organized a team. We started doing a couple little backyard type of things, and then in 2014 we made the plunge and cooked our very first KCBS contest in DeSoto, Kansas. And since then, we cooked a few in 15, a couple in 16. We ramped up a little bit in 17 and 18. Actually, in 2017 and 18, we finished in, we were 265th in the country, or in the standings, and out of 4,000 or 5,000 teams. And then in 2019, we came out of the gates, I guess you could say swinging. We won the first contest of our year that year, and then the second contest. We ended up winning 3 of the first 6 contests that we cooked in 2019, and we finished the year 11th overall in the standings. And 2020 we were 7th. Last year, 2021, I believe we were 17th. We fell off a little bit last year, but we've been in the top 5 in a category in the overall. So 2019 finished 4th in ribs. 20 we were 3rd in chicken. Last year we were 5th in brisket. So hey Chris, Spring Hill is just down the road, pretty close here. So but really, our team, it's me as the head pitmaster, my wife who really does everything else. You know, so I light a pit, but without her, we really wouldn't have the success that we have. She's really kind of keeps me in the where I need to be. But you know, it is. She handles the boxes, makes sure that we're on top of things. She's making sure that I don't change things as much as you know, she can. So I still change things every once in a while, much to her chagrin. But anyway, and then we have Man Meat, our 4-year-old. You'll often see her in our videos. Whether we're at contests, she's always out and about, just, you know, pretty social as well. And then we just added a new team member, our youngest, and at 4-month-old Renly. So yeah, Brian, I hear you. I've been not working on my yard. It does need mowed, but we do too much competing for me to mow it. But I did put a new window in our camper this afternoon and clean some drums. So welcome aboard. Brian, if you have questions or if you want to direct conversation, definitely jump in. Or if you want me to bring you on, we can split screen and have a little discussion there. But so yeah, I mean, we have cooked, gosh, I think yesterday was our 141st contest since we started cooking, and the vast majority of them have come since 2019. Last year we cooked 39 events, and we have put a lot of miles on our vehicles, but you know, we have done a lot of awesome things with our family, and got to spend a lot of time, windshield time, and different parking lots, different fields all across the country. So I would say one of the craziest things that we did was in 2020. We drove up to Casper, Wyoming, had a great time up there. Again, middle of COVID. COVID didn't really slow us down. We cooked 28 in 2020. from June to the end of October. And so we went from Casper, Wyoming, and left Casper, stopped at home, did our work throughout the week, and then drove down to Columbus, Mississippi, into a Category 4 hurricane, and cooked down there the week after. So it is definitely a passion of ours to cook and compete. And actually, this last weekend we had a first and probably a last, but we decided to sign up to vend and on Friday night, and it was an okay time, had a good time serving people, but anyway, it was, let's see here. I'm going to bring Brian on, but anyway, so yeah, we vend. We were just serving up some ground Wagyu beef nachos. Yes, Joel, vending is a lot of work, and for those that do it, man, hands down, congrats on doing that. But I'm not a vendor, so probably the last time I do that. What's up, Brian?
What's up, Aaron? Sorry, guys. I'll be working some still, so don't mind me. You got some bananas right now.
Well, I'm drinking some tea sponsored by, it's backwards, Chicken Fried Barbecue. Had to cover up, something that starts with an S and ends with a D there on a cup, but, it's a great looking sticker if you ask me. For all of those down in Texas, a little shout out to Bill. But yeah, I'm here to answer any questions, any thoughts, or you tell me what you want to hear, or what do you want to know.
I know some people have asked about starting out backyard, when to go masters, start out masters, just different cook times, prepping, just a couple insights of what you might have on all of that. I mean, for me, I know sure. I'm trying to come back next year to full backyard for 1 to 2 years, just get my foot back in the swing and jump back into the Master Series. But depends on money, kids, soccer, basketball, how that goes.
Well, I can tell you that's probably the biggest thing. First off, the time it takes to cook Master Series versus backyard. You can do a backyard. You got two meats generally. You got the ribs and chicken. I think sometimes they'll throw in pork or something of that nature. But it really is. It's a time and a money thing. This last weekend, I hate looking at what I spend on a weekend. We're probably over $1,000 a weekend cooking Master Series, but we're cooking Wagyu briskets. We're cooking 4 prime butts, and we're cooking the best meat, and we're going to spend a little money on that. And not everybody wants to do that, but if you want to go and show up to win an event, you're gonna have to compete with us. You're gonna have to compete with Joe Pierce. You're gonna have to compete with Brad Vinegar, and we're not showing up with mediocre meat. It is it's an expensive hobby, and so it is when you feel that you're ready to jump in and you think you can handle the financial obligation to go master. It's time to go master. There was actually last year, Dan Fine Beef and Swine was a backyard cook. He cooked his first Master Series this weekend and reserved grand champion, his very first Master Series event. So, and he was killing it. First year in backyard, he won a lot.
as a backyard. A lot of people thought he had been cooking forever, and it was his first event. So. Oh, you love unicorns?
And don't forget about the.
Oh, okay. Well, there's mini me, but yeah. So anyway, Ryan Kane, I mean, he killed it, and he was down battling a tornado. I mean, they that might have been a little close for me, 6 miles away from where they were. But yeah, Joel, he hit I think it was a 701. So his very first Master Series event gets a reserve grand. He I don't think he's allowed to go back to backyard now. But he won brisket, first competition brisket he'd ever cooked, and I think he cooked a Marble Ridge, and so $260 brisket. But the guy can cook, and also just a shout out to him. If you need any graphics, Ryan Kane's your man. So he does a lot of barbecue logos, and he's good dude to know. But so yeah, I mean, stick with backyard while you can, and just really get a feel for it. Timing of barbecue is challenging. There was a first-year team or a first-time cook this last week, and they missed ribs, and they missed it by 5 seconds. And it's already tough enough going and showing up as your first event, and then it not and then missing it a turn in just by a few seconds. The timing is challenging, and it takes a lot of practice, a lot of repetition to be able to do this on a consistent basis and not just pull your hair out. Joel can attest to that, but it is a something that you don't want to just. Oh, thank you. It's something that you don't want to go into lightly. Have a great time. It is a lot of fun, but there's a lot of guys out cooking that are take this seriously, and their livelihoods are barbecue. So you've got to do some competing with them. But it is always awesome to show up and know that you're going to cook against the best and see how your food stacks up. But another little tip, one that we and Carl, this is going to get to your question you had here a little bit ago, but one that we had a challenge with when we started out, we were cooking for what we liked. Competition barbecue is not about what you like or what your friends like. A lot of we got into competition barbecue because we were cooking at home, and people were like, "Oh my gosh, your food's so awesome! You should go compete." We showed up, and we got went home licking our wounds. So it was a learning experience, and we beat our head against the wall for a while, and so we decided that either we're going to have to sell out and just do what everybody else is doing, using everybody's recipes, or we need to do better with the products that we were using, and so we tweaked and tweaked and tweaked. We've been, I guess, to kind of go back to our beginning when we started. One of my beliefs is that barbecue is both science and art, right? And the science of barbecue is the thermodynamics of what's going on in that pit, whatever smoker you're using, how that heat interacts with the meat, how it breaks down the fat, what's going on in that smoke chamber, the times, the temps, the quality of meat. All of those things are part of the science of barbecue. Where I feel the art of barbecue is in the flavor that you can bring to the table. Something little unique, a little, you've got to stay within a box in competition, but as long as you're within the same ballpark, you can tweak a little bit and try to set yourself apart some. So anyway, we we started out making our own rubs and our own sauce at our kitchen table, and we were using that in contests. And we still use our own product. And in fact, if you walk into our trailer, um, there are a total of 5 rubs that we use in a contest, and 3 of them are ours. And we have I believe we have 4 sauces that we use, and 3 of them are ours. So, you know, that's part of what Christy does is she makes up the sauces. But I believe right now we are down to 4 different sauces, and like I said, 3 of the 4 are ours that we have crafted and fine tuned and got to where they are. And you know, we were fortunate enough to have sponsored the last year American Royal Open World Champion, Last Call Heroes, and our products were in his program, top to bottom. So they have come out and they have been proven. And our most recent addition is our home style rub, and Travis loves to say that he's hitting everything with home style. So it is it's an awesome seasoning, and it's a best replacement for salt and pepper that's out there on the market today. So
we have some of that for the giveaways that we'll probably go ahead and post 2 giveaways after this video is all done.
Awesome. Yeah. We use home style on literally everything. In fact, Christy made some crostini, a little bruschetta crostini, and seasoned the bruschetta with home style. So I already had some here this evening, and it was fantastic. But sprinkle it on everything: eggs, potatoes, chicken. If you're struggling in chicken, you start out your chicken with a little home style, and then as you're cooking it, you put a little bit more home style on it, and then when you finish it, you do more home style, and you walk. That's kind of how it goes. So, based on what Travis told me, I mean, he was telling me he walked. I don't remember what he got in chicken. It's like 2nd or 3rd in chicken yesterday, and he's like, "Yeah, I kept hitting it with home style," and I'm like, "Dude, how much are you putting on there?" And he's like, "Enough to taste it." So, but it does some good things to meat. So yeah, I mean, one of the questions that I get oftentimes when somebody's asking, "Hey, you know, I want to cook some ribs, and I want to know how long do I need to cook them, and at what temp?" And I used to ask this question, and the real answer is it depends, and you know, whether if you are focusing on cooking barbecue based on a time and a temperature, then you're not cooking barbecue. Barbecue is the enjoyment, the great fun about barbecue is that every piece of meat is different, every pit is different. You can cook low and slow at 225 or whatever you want to do, or you can go hot and fast. We prefer hot and fast because I like to sleep, and I don't want to just sit and babysit a pit forever. And I can turn out just as good of meat cooking hot and fast because I know where I'm going. But one thing to note in that, if you're cooking low and slow, your finishing temperature is going to be lower than if you're cooking hot and fast. For example, if you're cooking ribs, you can do the 3-2-1 method. 3 hours on, 2 hours wrapped, and an hour back on if you're doing low and slow. 225 to 235. You can do a 6-hour rib. I do ribs in about 3, and I'm cooking at 300 degrees on a gateway drum. Now, this is where I know what the temperature is at my rack. If you see 300 on your needle on a gateway drum, it is not 300 degrees where you're cooking. It doesn't really matter what that rack is. You run those things needles up, and they just work. But that rack is closer to 350 to 360. So I'm cooking those things to get them done, but I'm taking my finishing temperature much higher than where I would if I was going low and slow. So in 2016, when we were chasing ribs, we were finishing ribs at 214 to 216 internal temperature. So, which to some people would think it is crazy. So, you often hear 207, 208, but depends on the ribs you're cooking, depends on a lot of different things. So, anyway. Other questions or thoughts or comments? Things that people want to know? Where things get fun for me in barbecue is not cooking barbecue. I love using barbecue flavors, barbecue seasonings, barbecue sauces in ways that are not barbecue. And you often see, and I see a lot of pictures on this page of people's shelves and their cabinets full of rubs. Use them. Use them. You don't need to use it on barbecue. For example, our Texas style seasoning, right, is our taco seasoning. We don't use anything else except Texas style and cumin, and it makes awesome tacos. It is. There are several rubs in every one of your cabinets that you can do the same thing with. We rarely use raw seasoning to season up. We have not bought a packet of taco seasoning in a couple years. So it's play with the flavors that you have there, and you would see that you would get some awesome food by using the rubs in those bottles on other things besides barbecue. Yes, Joel, Texas style is good on pizza. It's good on tomatoes, and our tomato plants aren't in yet, but this summer when we have tomatoes growing, I oftentimes will just come out, grab a tomato, slice it up, and sprinkle it with a little Texas style. It is, yeah, home style on potatoes, home style on eggs, home style on every vegetable that's known to man. And it is, there's just not a lot that that you can't do with barbecue flavors. Kansas City style, or well, really any Texas style, Kansas City style, home style. Chris Schaefer actually turned me on at Heavy Smoke. He called me up and he's like, dude, if you're not doing this, you need to take sour cream and dump a bunch of Kansas City style in it and mix it up, and then just eat it as a dip. He uses it all the time, and you can do that with any rub. Any rub will go great in sour cream and makes a fantastic dip. Easy appetizers, but in sauce, like for example, our tangy Tennessee, our vinegar-based sauce it makes one of the best sweet and sour sauces that we've had. It's better than anything you can buy in a bottle for the sweet and sour in a bottle. If you take tangy Tennessee, mix it 50-50 with honey, a little splash of soy sauce, it is a great sweet and sour, shrimp, chicken, whatever. But yeah, it's love seeing a lot of people's creativity on here using different barbecue flavors in non-barbecue ways to get just something that it tastes good. But anybody How's it going, Casey? Anybody have any questions? We're talking barbecue. Talking anything that you can do on a pit. You sprinkle with rub or add sauce. Brian, you got any questions?
What smoker did you start on before the gateways?
Before gateways, that's a fun story. So we really when we started cooking, our neighbor had a little backyard Oklahoma Joe 16-inch diameter smoker. I think you used to be able to buy them at Sam's or whatever back in the day. But there was, I get the girlfriend of his at the time made a comment that I don't remember how it got to it, but all I had to do was ask him for it and he would give it to me. And so one day I went over and I said, "Hey, see that smoker has been under your porch for the last 4 years, and it's seeing that it's been buried, but can I have it?" And he gave it to me. He said, "One condition: anytime you cook, if you bring me a plate of food, it's yours." And I said, "Deal." And that's how I got started. And it was, I was able to cook a pork butt or a slab of ribs or two. Just couldn't cook a whole lot. But the thing that did was I decided to go in and build myself a smoker on a trailer. It was a 5-foot smoker. It was 5'4" in length. It was 26 inches in diameter that I welded, fabricated, and the thing leaked air so bad. I went through so much wood cooking on that thing, but that's how we got started competing, was on that. And then from there, well, we cooked with that. We cooked with a good one Marshall smoker, and my brother-in-law had. And when he brought that, we started getting a little bit more sleep on our big meats, and I would start running brisket on and pork butt on the good one, just because it was way more consistent and would stay the same temperature the whole time. But from there, we graduated and we went to Gateway Drums, and we went to Gateway Drums because of Lauren Hill, the Smoking Hills. And if you don't know Lauren is one of the greats in barbecue, from a standpoint of he's willing to help anybody, anytime, and one of the nicest guys in barbecue, and owe a lot to Lauren for what he has done and helped and mentored us over time. But anyway, so he started cooking on gateways, and I saw that he was doing well. 2015, he won the American Royal, and then he won the World Food Championship that year. And I'm like, man, that looks nice. And then I'd see him compete, and he wouldn't come out of his trailer until 6 a.m. I'm like, that beats trying to light a pit at 11 p.m. and hope that it doesn't go out while I try to get a few hours of sleep between that and 4 a.m. But so we went to Gateway Drum, and Sam, to kind of go to your question, why gateways over an offset or anything else. But we chose gateways because of how consistent they are. And I started looking at those who win, those who are constantly at the top. You'll notice one thing that they do. One, they're either cooking on Jambos, Outlaws, or Gateway Drums, or a dub pit, KC Smoker Co. And so it is the consistency that those pits can give you, where they retain their heat, they are more efficient, And so if you can continue to replicate a process over and over and over again, you're going to have good success. If you're constantly battling your pit and temperatures are going up and down and you're leaking air or whatever, one thing that you might do is save some money and invest in a good pit that's going to give you that consistency. I like gateways. I like the kind of direct heat smoking aspect. It kind of kisses it with a little bit more that char flavor, kind of the Burger King, flame broiled flavor. That meat the fat is just dripping straight down on those coals, and then it's just sizzling and basically evaporating back up through the pit and hitting that meat for a second time with some more flavor. So that's why I like them. I like the fact that I can cook and starting at 6 a.m. and hit my first turn at noon. So that's really it there. And Brad, to kind of go to your question on wood, we use pecan. We used to use hickory. Hickory is a little bit bitter for me. If I was cooking on an offset, it might work a little bit better. But with the drum, I like the milder flavor that pecan provides. I do throw a small chunk of cherry in on my pork and my ribs just for color. But yeah, Sam, I agree with you. The offset, there is some nice pieces of being able to put everything on your offset. Cook an entire event, right? Joe Pierce just won this weekend in Topeka, and he cooks on one pit, and he cooks his entire process. And Travis Clark does the same thing. He cooks on a Jambo. Joe's cooking on a dub pit, and it's Joe has done some great things in barbecue, and it's a preference between the two, and for me, the way we roll these days, I can't put an offset in the trailer that I'm in. So, but yeah, my favorite comp meat to cook, brisket. Love brisket. It's the most challenging. I know I can nail it. Chicken is not. It's the devil's meat. Everybody, you'll hear that commonly referred to as the devil's meat. There's so much more work in chicken for such a shorter cook, and but the thing is with brisket, it's that's where you can make up points, and if you're a good brisket cook, which I think we are. We finished 5th last year, and in the country, and we were 1 win away. I believe it was 1 win away from overtaking Brad, who ended up being brisket team of the year last year. So, we tasted it, almost there. So we're hoping this year we can keep pushing and have another successful season. So, but yeah, I mean we've made a few tweaks, and yeah, we've gotten a full tour of Brian's house. So got a little inside, got a little outside.
I got kids out getting their dinner ready, getting my ribs going. So wrapping them, just doing, you don't stop practicing. So it is what it is.
Yeah, every cook is, speaking of practice, you hear, hey, it's like, when are you practicing? We don't practice much from a standpoint of doing a full comp practice throughout a season or even in the off season. our practice cooks come every time we fire up a pit, whether it's at a contest or at home when I'm cooking dinner. I'm always thinking about the process. I'm always thinking about the flavor that we're using and how something reacts. I'm always looking at what my temps are doing. I'm always looking at how things finish. I'm always judging every piece of meat, that's chicken, ribs, pork, or brisket when I'm cooking at home, even just for dinner. I'm always thinking about that from mouthfeel. I'm always thinking about it from a flavor perspective, and you know, so yeah. No, I don't do full comp practice, but every time I cook is a practice to me. So. Uh,
Yeah, that's how you have to do it. I mean, I want to do ribs because I want to get back in the backyard and then go back to Master Series. It's been 14 years, but every time I cook pork, brisket, ribs, chicken, unless it's just something quickly grilled because the whole family's here, I trim them like it's a comp. I cook it like it's a comp, but it's just for us for dinner. Just keeps you in the game.
yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Um, Bradley, to your question, if I'm not cooking a comp, or what smoker would I use if it wasn't a gateway? Um, well, smoker that I use if it's not a gateway, does a Weber kettle count? It's basically the same thing. So I actually have a small little tailgater, GMG pellet grill that I won at a contest as a door prize. That is probably the most used non-gateway smoker that I have. It's easy. I plug it in. I let it roll. I put in a blend of pellets. I love putting a little Royal Oak charcoal pellet in with the mix. I'm not a Royal Oak sponsored team. I don't care if you use Royal Oak or not, but they are the only ones that I know that has a charcoal pellet, and it's the closest thing that you can get to getting some of that charcoal flavor out of a pellet smoker by using some of those. But yeah, that would be my go-to. And then Sam, to your question, what piece of advice would I give somebody who only cooks 5 to 10 a year? Man, gosh. Well, if you're only going to cook 5 to 10, group them. Like just say if you have your budget for that, don't cook one in the spring, one in the summer, one in the fall. If you can cook consistently three contests in a row, 3 weeks in a row, and then try to group those together as much as you can. If you put space in between them, one of the things that you look at, and I'm going to compare myself to a professional athlete because that's kind of the same caliber here. uh, but what you see anybody else doing anything professionally, they do it often, and they continue to repeat the process over and over and over again. A wide receiver will continue to catch the same pass in practice over and over and over again, so that way when they go to game time, they're able to make that catch when it counts. And so when you start making that repetition, it becomes second nature. And by grouping those together, you will find that your first cook, you're like, oh, I had such a great cook. You don't know why the judges didn't like it. One, there's skill involved in barbecue. There's also luck, and the luck comes in hitting the right tables at the right time. And there are some people who have run long luck strings together. And I'm not saying that it's only luck. You have to cook good food, and you have to be always cooking good food, but you also have to hit the right tables at the right time. Meaning, if a table likes chicken and you hit them in brisket, they might be an angel table on the day, but they just don't like brisket. It's probably not a good mix. And so um, there's some luck involved in barbecue, but there's a lot of skill. You always see the best of the best winning. It's because they're constantly putting out quality product on a consistent basis. They don't miss. Um, and if you miss by little, you're just hoping and praying that you hit the right table, and it often doesn't work out that way. So try to cook consistently as much as you can. If you're cooking 5, cook 3 together and 2 together. If you're cooking 10, 3, 3, and 4. Spread those out throughout the year. But Brad, kale or parsley? We've been a parsley box builder for forever, and we just switched to kale this year, and that's going to be a question for my wife. So, Christy, if you're still on, kale or parsley? But anyway, what's up, Toby?
I like loose leaf kale.
Loose leaf kale.
That's what I like.
Yeah. Casey, thanks for tuning in. Hope you cook something up awesome. Tri-tip. That is pretty awesome. Hit it with some home style. Any other questions? Comments? I mean, if you want to check out, we try to put out different recipes that are not barbecue on our website. So, if you go to therealmanmeatbbq.com, you'll see that you'll see different recipes that we will post. We try to put something out there every once in a while. We use our stuff all the time, and we get done. We're like, man, we should have written that down. A lot of times we don't write our recipes down. We just use it, and and we're like, man, that was good. What was in it? And we're like, it was home style and Texas style or whatever, but we didn't write down how much. So when we remember that stuff, we will put them out there on our website. We do have a YouTube channel that we haven't posted any video on in a long time, but there's a couple trimming videos if you're looking for competition tricks. There's a rib trim, there's a brisket trim, there's a rib competition video. I go through my process, and you can, if you listen closely, you can discern some of the flavors. That was our 2019 process. It's similar today, not far off, but it is slightly different. We use, I will tell you, we use homestyle as our base rub on our ribs. We're using a mixture of our Kansas City and Texas, and we have one other rub that we mix with that one. It's a perfect blend of spices, if you know what that means. But anyway, so that is our rib recipe currently, and it's scores are starting to come back on our ribs. But yeah, so we put out some other things out there. So our YouTube channel, The Real Man Meat BBQ on YouTube. You can catch us on Instagram, The Real Man Meat BBQ on Instagram, and our Facebook page is just Man Meat BBQ. So yeah, we will probably be running a special here for the National Barbecue Month. May is barbecue month. I'd love to see how you guys are using our products in any recipe, whether it's barbecue or just everyday recipes. I do get inspiration from some of you guys, so I'd love to see how you're using it. But yeah, we'll probably put out a 15% discount on our website here, maybe by the end of the day. So to kick off some National Barbecue Month. But if you if you spend $99 on our website, it's free shipping as well. So just something to keep in mind. But Brian, as you're aware, shipping costs are getting crazy. But with $5.50 diesel, it's going to flow through to increased costs. So anyway, any other comments, questions, anything you want me to address? If not, I'm going to have dinner. Enjoy a drink here on the patio. We get nice, if you can see over my shoulder, nice view, just trees. I don't know if there's a lot of green grass, but I'm going to sit out here and enjoy this wonderful Sunday evening. But thanks for having me. And if there's anything that you guys have questions, ping me. But you can ping me anytime, and if I feel the question's not too far, I'll give you an answer. But yeah.
If you see him at a competition, stop, say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in our big fifth wheel, but don't be bashful. I'm probably just feeding a baby or injecting chicken or something. So it's pretty open. And that's it. I am not cooking Colombia. People in Colombia don't like our food. We're going to go to Bixby, Oklahoma this weekend and see if we can cook. That's the first time down in Bixby. But be cooking Bixby, Oklahoma this weekend. We may be cooking Lansing in a couple weeks, and then we're off. We're not signed up for anything over Memorial Weekend. We will cook Marysville, Kansas, one of our favorite contests of the year there. And then we were selected for the Made in KC contest that is being hosted here in Kansas City. That one is the one to win this year. It's a huge opportunity for those who are cooking it. And I'm not going to lie and say that I really don't want it, but I really want it. It'd be huge.
I think everyone cooking it.
Yeah. Anybody cooking it is really going to want it because there's $25,000, I believe. I think it's $25,000 for that day, and then if you win it, you get a licensing deal for the airport. So, it's for those of us that have a product line, the licensing deal could be huge, and that's really, we are fortunate that we are in 3 countries with our product. We're in Canada, New Zealand, United States, and I have lost count. I think we're up to 20 states with our product. I need to update on our website. There's a page that shows where we are. I need to update that. I've added a few more stores here recently, but yeah, we are loving all your support and all of you that are using our product. We do appreciate that. I actually had somebody come up to us and say, "Hey, that Kansas City style is really great. We didn't realize." And there's a lot of people using some Man Meat BBQ products competing, and they're doing well. And in fact, sometimes it's a tough thing to do. Tough thing when we get beat by our own product. But I love seeing it. We never really intended to go down this line of putting our product out, and honestly, it was really just at some point we thought maybe we would have a class, and we have yet to do one. I don't know if we ever will, but if because we have our own product and we use our own product, that we decided that if we were going to do a class, we need to have our product bottled, so that way you wouldn't just come to a class and couldn't actually replicate anything that was being done. So I'm more focused and would much rather do a backyard class, teach backyard cooking, than teach competition. There's a lot of good competition classes out there, and honestly, even with the success we've had, I don't feel that we've earned the right to host a competition cooking class. And there are better cooks out there than we are. There are people who actually deserve to be hosting classes that you would actually want to learn from. And not to say that I can't teach, and you wouldn't learn from us, but personally for me, I'm not gonna muddy the waters or dilute the competition class schedule that's out there. But I'd much rather put a video out on YouTube teaching backyard techniques, because that's more fun anyway. But
yeah.
All right, 6 o'clock. We've been doing this for about an hour.
Yep.
It's time for a beer.
Hey, thank you so
All
much,
right.
Aaron.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for having me come on. And love to do it again. If there is demand for it, would love to see more questions and it's just get out and cook. Get out and cook.
Maybe we do something before the Royal, and we could give away some tickets for the Royal to whoever comes on the live feed, and just do a giveaway for them.
Yeah.
I get the tickets.
No, we should do some. I just got my invitational email and the Royal sign up on Saturday. So yeah, maybe we should do some Royal tickets, do weekend passes or something like that, and we are working and maybe this too. We are working on a shirt for the Royal this year, and I haven't got the design yet, but it'll be one that people will want to wear. So I am starting that process now, and hope to have that out in a couple months here. But it might be something that we will post up and put out there. So anyway.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you being on, and I'll be in touch with you over distributors and stuff like that. But no, we'll get together and try to get another time for you to get on here, hopefully before the Royal, and I can have something put together for one of the lucky viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd love to see some more of that blue label in some giveaways. So that's such an awesome rub that love to see people using it. No MSG and very little sugar.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Peace.
Peace
have
out.
A good night.
Have a beer. Thank you, Aaron.
All right, sounds good.